So I'm so happy to have all of you here. I think this presentation will really help, get you informed to be able to start running ads for your practices, and just, 101 basic setup. So my name's Taylor Bruney, and my business is the Medical Minder Virtual Agency, where I help physician entrepreneurs market their business, build different courses, help with different things like virtual assistants, social media, etc. Just mainly to help all of you get your businesses running and to help inform and educate you guys so that there's optimal growth and scaling. So I know this week we're on Google Meet, so I'm going to figure out real quick on the share screen. There we go. Okay, so you're gonna see my entire screen until I put the window up. So let me know if you can see it in one moment. Can you see the slideshow by chance? Oh, wait. I can't hear anyone.
We can see it, Taylor.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah, now I'm gonna go back on mute. Lovely picture.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about content that converts in specific area of the social media ads and campaigns for physicians. So this is going to be super foundational, basic, just, as I've met different clients and physicians, they're just starting to dabble into the social media ads. So I wanted to put together a presentation to kind of give you guys, the tools and the tips while you begin to dabble in ads. And then once you guys are ready, hopefully maybe next year I can do a more advanced ad campaign webinar for you guys, or I can assist as well. All right, so this presentation is for women physicians looking to establish, the professional brand on Instagram, want to grow their audience, attract clients, patients, leads, and also physicians like struggling with the content creation for the ads and the ad engagement. So today we'll cover the foundations of the high converting social media ads. So Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, those types, and then how to create the ad content, like what to include in it, that drives clicks and the conversions. So we're going to target, we're also going to be talking about targeting the right audience with Meta, Facebook and Instagram ads, and then optimizing and scaling ad campaigns for long-term success. So there's so many different things you can run ads for, but the main one that a lot of physicians like to use, one for their practice, and two for their business, like leads and then online courses, etc., is the social media ads specifically, because this also helps grow your Instagram and Facebook accounts, which are lead drivers. And the organic reach is declining because of all the changes in the algorithm ads, or in the algorithm, pertaining to Meta. They've been a little bit more restrictive the last few years. So I'm sure a lot of you have noticed a bump or different seasons of lower engagement. And this is why they are trying to optimize and have, people use their tools in order to get more reach and engagement. And one of their tools is Meta Business Planner, that also has, or Business Suite, that has the planner, the scheduling, the content, and then the ads, the ad campaigns. So ads allow, for more precise audience targeting, which helps bring in your, ideal audience that will follow you. And it can also generate your leads, which can increase your bookings and grow your brand awareness as well. So there's a few different types of the social media ads for Meta, and there's I think 2 or 3 more on TikTok, but specifically for Meta today, awareness ads. So this is where it increases your brand visibility, it increases your website, your the awareness of your social media accounts. And then it's similar to the traffic ads, which also drives the visitors to your website, socials, your webinar, your lead magnet for emails. And then you take it a deep step deeper into the lead generation ads. And this is where the conversion goal is set for converting, cold leads into warm leads into your funnels. And this is where you can collect your emails and phone numbers and have them, also sign up for discovery calls, those type of ads, like after a webinar. And then we have the sales ads, the conversion ads. So this is where it encourages signups, bookings, and sales. So usually, when you're just starting out on Meta, you want to grow the ad credibility of your account. Because if you just start out with a sales ad, it can put your account a little bit more at risk, just the way that Meta's set up. And more at risk for flags. And so what you want to do is you want to start doing the awareness and traffic ads and the lead ads before the sales ads. And this just builds your credibility and your stature in Meta so that they see, okay, this is a real person. And then in the same time that it's building your credibility in your ads account with Meta, it's also building the algorithm. So it's training the Meta algorithm to know, okay, this is the type of traffic, this is the type of goal you're setting, this is the type of reach, type of people you want to target. So it does help having the more ad campaigns before you start running the sales ads. And that's just an ads, school knowledge tip, so you guys know. And then this I didn't put in the slideshow, but I wanted to add on so that okay, so a lot of clients before they come to me with ads, they started boosting, and I'm sure you've seen it, like you go on your app, Instagram app, and it's like boost this post and then get a few extra thousand or a few extra hundred reach. So even though boosting you pay and it's kind of similar to an ad, it's not like their full ad campaign. And when running metrics after running those boosted mini campaigns compared to a full ads manager, Meta, sales, leads, traffic campaign, the Meta ads, traffic, all of these, you want to do these over because you're just kind of honestly wasting money doing the boosted posts. The boosted posts aren't really for conversion goals. They're more just for traffic and getting more views and more likes. But if you really want, to train it for your sales in the future, as well as leads, you want to make sure that you just save your money and put your money towards actual ad campaigns in the ads manager. Hopefully that makes sense. And if it doesn't at the end of this, when we do questions, just let me know and I'll try to explain it. But a lot of physicians do that, because we don't know in the beginning when we first start running ads it's not the most optimized way to be able to, save and invest in your money. Okay, so platforms. So there's so many different, platforms where you can do ads: Google, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube, etc. And depending what your goals are, depending how much time you have to respond to the leads, to take on these patients, clients, this is where, you want to decide and try out different ones, because obviously different platforms will have different audiences. So I, suggest always trying out, different ones. The ones that have worked the best with my clients and with physicians that I've talked with have been the Meta, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and then Google. And then later on when they do like YouTube ads, when their accounts are more monetized, that helps as well. But the main ones that are really great to start with is Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. It's simplified and you're hitting your main audiences that you have right now that have been responding to your content. So those are some of the main ones. The anatomy of a high converting ad. Now this is basic. So each practice, each person, each online business, it's going to be, niche specific, especially with the examples that I give you. You're going to want to really, study different copywriting of the ads. There's different ad examples all around, even they'll pop up on your screen. And then also Meta has a library where you can type in, the topic like kids art camp, and then you'll see all the art camp, ads that are running and that have been running for a while. So you can kind of get an idea of their styles. But anyways, the main anatomy and outline of a converting ad is you want to have a really great headline that grabs the attention, that highlights the pain point, so it targets the emotion. The visuals, of course, graphic, and I'll go over some of these visuals in a few slides. And you'll want, either the graphic, the image, or video, copy for the ad, the caption. I've tested longer ones and I've tested, middle size and short, and it seems like the shorter ones, with the information, depending what is there, like for physical products like clothing, a food product that you developed, etc. Short, sweet, to the point is great. For courses, you want it to be a little bit short, but also medium, where you do mention price, the enrollment date, what's in the modules, what they're getting. So it really depends what you're selling and what your goal is for the copy. If you want just traffic, short is great too. And then you want to always have a call to action and put your link in the ad so they can just click it right there. So the 3 key elements of effective ad copy, like I mentioned, is the hook. I mean, this is very basic. So struggling with X, pain point, here's a simple fix, or struggling, target their emotion and then make it personalized. Like if you're speaking, with weight loss, obesity, and you're trying to promote like a weight loss program, you do have to be careful on weight loss. A lot of the trigger words for flags, Meta, weight loss, certain medications for weight loss. So you have to work around Meta's restrictions and flagged, and just always, keep updated with that. But you want to hit the pain point of them not being able to, lose the weight after menopause. Menopause just cannot struggle enough with, not losing this weight. And then you go into the value proposition, why you can help them, why you can transform their life, and then get expert guidance from a board certified physician through this course, get expert, guidance from a board certified physician with a discovery call, etc. And then clear next step, download your free guide now, purchase the course now, etc. So this is very basic, just so you can see how it's framed. And then video versus image ads, they both work great. So this is why I always test a few different styles with each client, because the more types of creatives, ad creatives, which is the image or video that you test, the better, because certain audiences for certain products will prefer a carousel over the video. And then other, audiences will prefer the videos of you speaking about your product, your course, your practice opening. So it's always best to have, like, if you have a sales campaign, have 3 or 4 ads. Here's the campaign and here's the ads, the creatives, look like one carousel, one image, like a mock-up image, and then, a video of you talking. Or you can try 3 different videos of you saying 3 different things. And as you test, as you run these ads, Facebook will allocate all the money for that daily spending to the one that's performing the best. And then when you're done with the campaign, you'll be able to see, okay, they prefer this type of copy and this type of headline and this type of, image or video. But you want to keep the ads simple, effective for lead generation and brand awareness. The video ads, you definitely will get more higher engagement on those ads. and it's great for education, selling courses, storytelling, capturing their emotions and their pain points. And then the carousel ads honestly shows multiple benefits of your product or testimonials or hitting the storytelling in the carousel ad. And then examples of physician ad content. So what you could do for an ad, if you're just starting out with your practice, and I suggest this because this is a great way to build leads for your new practice and your social media, is a lead magnet ad, and it also builds your email. So free checklist, 5 things to ask your doctor, insert specialty about so-and-so, or a free mini ebook guide, 10 pages, where it's, has your information and a call to action at the end, like book my services, here's the packages, etc. And then you just educate them on a topic. If weight loss, obesity, like maybe a 5-day meal plan for optimizing your new routine of working out, how to lose weight faster with this type of diet meal plan, include these types of foods. Avoid these types of foods while you're starting your weight loss journey. Webinar ads, join my free training on so-and-so. Webinar ads are really great. You can bring in discovery calls, you can bring in their emails, you can bring in, have them fill out forms. So there's all different types of things that you can do for a webinar ad, but it essentially fills up your webinar, which really helps. And then the patient client services ad, book consultation today. So I'm sure you've seen a lot of physicians ads for their practices, and you want to, a tip that helps is not just videos of you in your clinic with your team, or you performing like a procedure, showing you like after the procedure with your scrubs, etc. But you want to, personalize it, like show you, your team, how you're helping your patients after. And then what really worked with a vein and vascular practice that I worked with for quite a bit of time is we had her ads running, and she eventually incorporated the videos, which really helped. But in the beginning, we compiled a lot of the testimonial videos. We had patients, tell their transformation story, obviously signed, a form saying that they released the video to use for ads. But those videos did really well. And then also photos of like in action photos of the doctor about to do, spider vein treatment on the patient in the legs. And it just showed in action what they were doing, and and then they also saw the transformation. So that's also very helpful too when you're doing specific ads for your clinic, your practice, and those types of ads. And then targeting. So Facebook Meta has been adding a lot of AI features into the targeting aspect. So it's good to test out both manual targeting in your audiences and also their AI. I like to target manually prior to just, flipping on their AI ability to do it, because then we're training the algorithm and it has something to reference to when we switch on the AI new features. So when you manually target, and when you target the right audience, it's lower ad costs because you'll get more leads for lower price. So it's better results, and you'll see it in the metrics after, if it was the right audience or if you need to tweak something in your audience. And then approaching it with precise targeting, like I said, and then AI integration has been introduced. So you kind of want to try both. Understanding meta ads targeting. So these are the most important, and this is great to think about before you hire an ads manager and someone who can do your ads like me, because they want to know, not only, the brand and what you're selling and the pain points, but they also want to know the demographics, their interests and behaviors, their custom audiences. So like an avatar. So you want to think about your client, your patient avatar before hiring any person to help you with ads, because then that'll help them target even better. And so, interests and behaviors that can include health topics, medical journals, fitness, wellness, anything that your avatar is interested in, you want to think about. Custom audiences. So this is where you can later on, once you have enough leads and you've run enough ads where it's gathered enough information, you can retarget people who visited your site who didn't buy. Or who just visited your Instagram or profile on Facebook. And then also you can retarget people who engaged with your Instagram and Facebook page. And then after your ads have gotten at least 100 leads, which it will tell you, that's when, so when you want to retarget and use these for optimal algorithm AI through Meta, it's 100 leads and it will tell you, and that's when you want to retarget people who visited your site and your Instagram, Facebook page. And then another tip that ads managers know and are taught for optimized, meta conversion is after you get 100 email subscribers, we download your CSV. It's just a list of all the emails, and we upload it into Facebook. And they target people who are similar to those leads. And that's after 100. So that's something to keep in mind. Okay, so the lookalike audience strategy. So this is similar. So this is just a step farther once you have those leads and you've been running ads for a little bit of time. So you can create different audiences, lookalike audiences that are similar to your best customers who've bought. It'll give you options to do like, the group similar to the people who have bought your most products, etc. You use your email list, like I just mentioned, your website traffic, CSV as well, or engagement data from your social media. It expands, the reach to potential patients' clients. It's just more ways to get more leads, more optimized. And then you'll be creating the retargeting and lookalike audiences when you've had at least 100 sales, 100 emails, like I said. And then how much should you spend on ads? So if you're just starting out and then you're starting out with your smaller products, you're testing it out, you want to start small because you don't want to go in and spend all this money and not have, all the tested creatives, all the tested headlines, all the tested copy, the tested images. Like you want to, test small, $5, $15, $20 a day. And then once you have those metrics, results, then you do the sales ad on the best performing creatives and headlines, etc. And then you up it a little bit more to like $50 per day. But at least that ad, performed great on your leads and your traffic, your awareness. And then when you click or when you choose the campaign budget option, which I like to use for my clients, and you allocate more of the budget to the top performing ads. So it just, as soon as Meta is realizing, oh, this ad's performing the best and the quickest, then it will just allocate more of your budget towards it. And then you'll get more conversion and more leads, which is really helpful. And then, so some of the metrics that you want to test, track the cost per lead, and then return on ad spend, which that's what you calculate at the end, in your spreadsheet. Always have a spreadsheet to track, or whoever's doing your ads, make sure they always do a spreadsheet. You have all the data, everything you did for all the ad campaigns, and then you can just refer right back. And that's the best way that I've done, especially if we want to replicate the ads. Okay, so there is options of A/B testing, which means, to test different titles, different images, just basically testing different things. And this is where, it offers headline variations. So like we'll find out which hook gets the most engagement, and then which images versus videos, which one performs better for your audience, and then which group, because it's not only the ad creative of the image or video, but it's the audience and the group that we are targeting, because that can be adjusted too. So there's so many aspects of ads. It's so complex and layered. That's why it's great to have, additional support with it, because it's a lot. But after you test out different audiences and creatives and you find the ones that really work, then you just replicate them, tweak a little bit of the copy, but you just keep replicating that same style, that same outline, and then, you just tweak a little bit of, not the copy, but I meant to say the graphic or the video. And then how to improve underperforming ads. So you always want to track, once you start your ads, I always like to wait about 3 days, because that gives enough, time where Facebook can get the metrics all calculated for you. And there's certain key points, which is more in the complex teaching session, on what things you need to look out for. But you just always want to look at your metrics, and they will tell you. And then you always want to test new visuals and copy. You don't want to just do like one ad campaign and be done. You're not going to be successful, and your ads won't convert. You just want to keep trying the ads until you see the rate of conversion and the ROI that you want. Sometimes the ads, it just takes some time on some, and then others it's like, wow, right away. So you'll just want to adjust the targeting or audience segments if it's not performing the best. And then also here, this is where it is. Yeah, scaling up when and how to increase budget. Sometimes if your ad doesn't perform the way you want, it's also because you're a smaller account, you're building your ad credibility because you're just starting out, and your competitors are like Nike, Target, Walmart, like other large corporations who are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars per month on ads. And so sometimes there are just certain weeks or days or seasons of the year where Meta allocates all their algorithm towards the bigger organizations. And that's usually Black Friday, Christmas, those types of deals where you're gonna not see as much ROI. So you always want to be adjusting the budget as much as you can and see. So these are just, once again, metrics. If your CTR, which is a metric, is above 2%, a low cost per lead, high engagement, these are things that you see after the 3 days, and then that's when you can like up the budget. And a little trick in the ad campaign managers community is increasing the budget gradually, like 20 or 30% every few days. And this is once you have built a little bit more credibility on your ad account and once you've done some ad campaigns. Probably not on your first few, because you want to track those metrics and see what worked and what didn't. So it will be, after you've done a few ad campaigns. And then also you want to scale by using retargeting campaigns too in the future. Okay, so a few clients that I've had this year have done really well with their ads. There was one course that launched earlier this year, and we used a few different funnels, but ads were one of them for Meta, Instagram, and Facebook. And her course did really well on like during her launch week. And she got a lot of her leads from the Meta ads and then her social media accounts. So that was really encouraging to see that we targeted the right audience for, you know, her products, and it did really well. And so it just shows, you know, when you sell courses, you can have successful ad campaigns. Of course, you want to tweak and do things like that. And then services launch, I kind of talked about it earlier with the vein and vascular. Once we changed like the creatives and we started getting more testimonials as the videos, it did really well with her services. And then she brought in a lot more patient leads. And then art, one of my clients who is on the board of a medical organization, she loves doing art classes for kids on the side. So I've been helping her with that. And it did really well. And it's harder because art classes local compared to if you're just doing an online business where you can go all over the United States, but we had to do it more localized. And still we were able to target, you know, her ideal leads. And it did really well and brought in a lot of traffic during her traffic campaign and leads as well. And then, you know, email freebie ads are great. They always perform really well to bring in people where you have a PDF and you bring them in and they download, so they see the ad, it's like free download. And then, you know, it prompts them to enter their email and then they can download the email freebie. That ad campaign does really well. And then, like I mentioned before, there's been a lot of clients who have done webinar sign up ads and they've gotten a lot of, you know, discovery calls and then also leads into their webinars. So ads are great for webinars and workshops. Okay, so mistakes to avoid, you know, targeting too broad or too narrow, and that's where you test. Using generic images where there's like no connection to the message. That's something you don't want to do, and a lot of practices do that, especially like family practices, general practices. You don't want that. You don't want some basic like picture of a nurse with a stethoscope. You know, trade that in for you with a stethoscope helping a patient doing an activity. And then not testing, optimizing ongoing process, and then people want to do one and done and then not continue. Like I mentioned before, that's a no-no. You want to keep continuing with ads and try different things, you know, and this helps increase in the long run. So effective ads require the great copy, visuals, and targeting. Start small, test, refine, and then scale. You always want to track the results, metrics, and then also ManyChat DM automation can connect with your ads in the funnel as well. And then these are a few things you want to do before you run social media ads. Optimize your Instagram bio and highlights and make sure your feed looks good. And, you know, it's showing that you're a thought leader positioned in your expertise. Plan your content strategy for the next month because people will be coming in to your Facebook and Instagram and seeing if you've been posting consistently. And then test and track performance before scaling, and then optimize and refine based on data. And then how I can help you, if you have questions, please email me. I'm happy to answer your questions. I put my email here. And then if you, in the future, when you have your practice launches, or if you want to try out the social media ads or course ads, etc., I'm happy to help you set up your metapixels, ad accounts, set it up and optimize it so it's performing and running on the correct part. So a lot of physicians don't know that you have to build a separate ad account in addition to your personal Facebook. And you never want to run your ad account on your personal Facebook because there's always, you know, a risk of anything that Meta can flag and shut down the account. Then you're without your Facebook account. So it's always good to have someone who can set up your pixel correctly, where it tracks all the metrics, and then also your ad account in the business portfolio of Meta. This is very important. And then also I can help with the ManyChat DM automation, social media management, etc. And then answer any of your questions. And then I'm gonna close this. Oh, wait. Oh no, I lost you all. Oh, there you are. I think I just clicked the stop presenting. There we go. Hopefully that helped everyone, but if you have any questions, please let me know. I know that was kind of a lot and hopefully it made sense, but this is kind of a basic, overview of the ads and what you can do for your businesses. Oh, I think you're muted.
Great job as always. Thank you so much for this. Ladies, ask questions. You're here now, so ask questions. It was a great overview. It seems very complicated. Personally, I think
Yeah.
Ads are complicated, and I believe that Facebook is always changing with the ads that I've run in the past. They're always changing. So just personally, I would say hire it out. I don't get any financial benefit from, you guys, if you want to work with Taylor or not. I just know her, that she's dependable. There's a few in the group that have used her. But no, I've tried, unless you're going to be on it all the time. And it's very, I believe it's overwhelming. That's the bottom line. And you need to be on it because you need to see the changes. And if you're not actually following the data, it's a problem. So any questions? Teresa, Ratika, Emma, you must have hopped on, right? Because you wanted to know about ads. Ask away. And there'll be a replay, and that'll go out on Sunday. One of the things that you mentioned earlier is that you were saying like boost ads. You don't really think that they're effective, and I've heard that so many times. And then the other thing that I really was a takeaway, Taylor, was that we all want to just sell, right? Like that we would just want people coming in. And so if you start the ad with just selling, it's actually unlikely to, you're better off warming it up. And Taylor has given some really good tips on that one as well.
Yeah, and because just like a new Instagram account, you have to make posts. Otherwise, if you post and then you follow like 20 plus accounts, Instagram Meta will shut you down. So it's kind of similar with the ads as well. You have to warm it up, build that credibility. And as it's building the credibility, it is also memorizing your traffic, what leads work, what leads don't, etc., which really helps in the long run for future ads, because then it's just quicker and then the lower cost per result. So it's all algorithm based with Meta, and then we just manipulate the heading or the headline, the copy, the image, and then the target audience. But yeah, exactly. Boosting, a lot of people just boost it because they think it's
it's easy.
way.
It's easy. The button's right there. You just
but
boost
you're
it, right?
wasting money. Yeah. I mean, you'll bring traffic, you'll bring likes, but your likes
the right
don't
people.
always convert, to your people and your future leads. So just save your money that you want to boost it with and put it towards an ad campaign. And that's a secret too that, more people are becoming aware of. So yeah. And then if you have any questions that you think of, tomorrow or a week from now, send me an email, because I've just gotten a couple questions from our last webinar workshop, and it's been a couple weeks. So I know people, as they're working on their projects and their business, that's when the questions start coming. So yeah, I'm happy to answer your questions in the next few weeks too. So.
Hi, Taylor. This is Rick. Oh,
Go ahead.
sorry.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
That was super helpful. I learned so many takeaways in terms of even 100 leads and how you track it and all of that. And I was curious, when you do work with a business, how long do you work with them in terms of setting up the ads, working with them? I would love to hear a little bit more if you could share.
Yeah. So it's different with each client, because some just want me for their launches, like their product launches. So whether that's like 1 month, doing a whole month of product launches, or 3 months where it's consistent, and ad manager for the next 3 months, or 6 months. So it's really just depends on your budget, depends on your goals, what you're selling, the timeline. But I always tailor all of my packages and services to the client themselves, so it's always different. But it's always good to have the consistent ad manager, because then they know your ads and they can continue with adjusting and that process, rather than having one ad manager for one launch and then the next one for another. It just, you know, then that person will have to start over again and figure out all your ads. But it's really helpful when you have that consistency and that person in the long term. So usually a lot of my clients are like 3 months plus for the ads, unless it's just for in my launch package that I do it for them.
Taylor, on the bottom right-hand side is like the comment box. Do you want to put down your telephone number or like email?
Oh yes. Oh
Yeah,
yes.
you
Here's
bet.
my, oh, thank you, Patrice, for saying thank you for great info. So here's my email. If you have any questions about anything, ads, or anything else, please email me. This is my personal email. And just remind me that you're coming from the workshop, and I'm happy to answer.
No other questions, ladies? I took myself off. Oh wait, I see. Oh, Carmela, that's
you.
very sweet.
Yeah.
Just
All
one
right,
more
guys.
question.
Please.
Do you recommend that your clients already have a social media account for their business and have had a certain amount of time on there, or can we work with you brand new?
Oh yeah, brand new. I've helped like new, I built their accounts for them, and then we run ads after we've posted about 30 days. I like to have that first month of posts first before running ads, because once again, building the ad credibility, you're building your account credibility too, and it won't flag. It just reduces meta, you know, the restrictions. But yeah, I can help at any stage that you're at. I like to help with the social media and the ads, and that's perfect because I can just use what I create for the ads, and it's just, you don't have to create all these different things and overwhelm yourself. So I'd be there to help.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.